and lots of steals. Also has some power, a little bit deceptive here at Seton Hall because of...
Checking the defense for Seton Hall Prep down at first base is Chris Cavallo. The second baseman is Tom Carini. Mike Stevens is the shortstop, and down at the hot corner, George Dillon. The outfield, in left field, R.J. Fornaro. The center fielder is Chris Schwartzbeck, and around in right, Brian Volker. Behind the plate, Chris Kuzin, and on the mound, Rhett Zidzunis. Zidzunis, a junior right-hander.
Mostly fastball. He also told me as he was warming up he will mix in the curveball and also throw some change. 1-1 this year, 2.76 ERA. Zidzunis has worked 20 1/3 innings, allowing 15 hits with 20 strikeouts in the 20-plus innings and only 11 walks. But he said mostly that fastball he's going to use today.
And, Paul, he pitched in a losing effort against Eastside back in the middle of April. And Mike Shepard was telling us before the game that that was the contest in which the team began to believe in itself. He said there weren't many players coming back from last year's team who played the same position they're playing this year. Stevens, the shortstop, and Schwartzbeck, the center fielder, the only two. And he said really the others didn't have much experience. Last year's team, of course, went to the Parochial A final, so it was a good one, but they lost a lot of guys from that club and some new positions for these players. And he said we weren't really sure what kind of a team we would have, but we lost 3-2 to Eastside, and Eastside had Sandy Lopez on the mound, who is perhaps the finest pitcher in Essex County. And there's Coach Shepard, and he said that that was the game that kind of gave us some confidence and turned things around for us. And Zidzunis, as I said, kept the club in the ball game, though they lost by a score of 3-2. Only gave up a few hits, but 3 of them were dingers and resulted in the 3-2 victory for Eastside. As Paul said, Zidzunis with the fastball, and we will probably only see Rhett for a couple of innings this afternoon. He's coming off some arm trouble, although he has assured Coach Shepard that he is 100%. Stepping in to lead things off, Rob Masella, the junior second baseman. On the year, Masella batting .388. And the fastball is fouled out of play down the right field side.
Just to expand on what you said before, Mike Shepard is thinking about going with a 3-pitcher rotation today, starting with Zidzunis, following up with Brian Volker, who is currently out in right field, and then finishing up the day with Mike Fanning, who is right now on the bench.
Here's the 0-1. Breaking pitch skied to center field. Schwartzbeck in the shadows. And there's one down.
It was Schwartzbeck who preserved Chris Stevens' no-hitter in the GNT last weekend against West Essex with a diving catch to not only end the game, but as I said, preserve the no-hitter in the 8th inning.
Mike Quant, and the first pitch is high for a ball. Quanta Jr., he is the shortstop, batting .286 with 10 runs batted in. No home runs, but Paul, only 3 strikeouts in 84 plate appearances. Lays off, and it's 2-0. Behind the plate calling balls and strikes this afternoon, Paul DeCencio. And on the base paths is Vin Smith. Just underway on an absolutely gorgeous afternoon. Fastball fouled off the screen. Paul, I'd say temperatures just around 70 degrees, barely a breeze blowing, nary a cloud in the sky.
No wind, no cloud, high sky today. We have lots of trees in the outfield, so that blocks what very little wind there is. It is just a gorgeous day for high school baseball.
Zidzunis dealing 2-1. Ground ball up the middle, played by Carini, and there's 2 down.
And the Prep has a big target to shoot for at first base. Chris Cavallo, the senior right-handed first baseman, stands a good 6'3" over there. Carini took a nice hop and tossed it over to Cavallo. There's Cavallo. Let me check my official Jeff Goldberg roster here. And I see that Cavallo is 6'4", 185 pounds.
Played basketball for the Pirates this year. Of course, they went to the Tournament of Champions semifinal before they lost to Marist of Bayonne. Chris Kuzin, the catcher, also a key member of that squad. Here's Jason Metalliano. Metalliano, senior left fielder, batting .306. 3 doubles, a triple, has 8 runs batted in. But throw in 15 walks, and 5 times he's been hit by a pitch. He's got an on-base percentage of .629. Hard hit ball down the line and left. That's a one-hopper off the wall. Played out there by Fornaro. Italiano with the wide turn, and now makes it to second as the ball skips away on the relay from Stevens. And Italiano on the error gets on second.
Hard hit ball by Italiano goes off the wall on one hop. Now, it was played correctly by Fornaro. It is down in the corner. He plays it nicely, but his relay throw into Stevens is short hop, and then as it got by Stevens, as you see, second baseman Carini had to come off the bag, and it gives Italiano a chance to move up on the play.
So Italiano at second, and here's Mark Hapward. We'll talk a little bit about that wall out in left field. It does affect the ground rules. Hapward, the third baseman, wanted to hold up, but he couldn't. It's 0-1.
So a single and an error puts Italiano at second base for Hapward.
Hapward, 14 runs batted in, batting .333. Some power, but has been consistent throughout the year. He has 3 doubles and 2 triples. Again, wants to lay off the outside pitch, but he cannot, and it's 0-2.
On the replay, you make the call at home. Yeah, he offered.
So he's in the hole 0-2 as Zydzunas checks the runner Italiano and now steps off. Hapward, Italiano, and Rob Masella played football this year for the Caldwell Chiefs, as did Todd Decker-Prendergast and Mike Masella, along with Brian Shave and Chris Binder. So a lot of football players on this squad.
You just kept adding names
in the dirt. Runner goes, and Italiano is out as Cousin throws a P down to Dillon, who slaps the tag on, and that'll end the inning. Paul, you were talking about those Caldwell Chiefs. They had a great football year. Can't do much better. Wound up winning a state championship.
They were the Section 2 Group 2 champions as they defeated Dover in a game that we had a chance to televise here on TV3.
Mike Shepard, the head coach of the Seton Hall Pirates, and his batting order looks like this. Leading things off is the third baseman, George Dillon. Chris Schwarzbeck is the center fielder. He bats second. Mike Stevens, the shortstop, only recently returned to the Seton Hall lineup, bats third. In the cleanup spot is Chris Cavallo, the first baseman. Batting fifth is the catcher, Chris Cousin. Following Cousin in the order is senior second baseman Tom Carini. Zydzunas will bat for himself this afternoon. Zydzunas in the 7th position. R.J. Fornaro, the sophomore left fielder, is 8th. And Gary Cordovano is the DH this afternoon. He is batting for right fielder Brian Volker. Defensively, here's how Caldwell sets itself up. Down at first base is Gerald Cece. Rob Masella is the second baseman. Mike Quant is the shortstop. Down at third base is Mark Hapward. In the outfield, Jason Italiano is the left fielder. The center fielder, Todd Decker-Prendergast. And around in right field, Jeff Bowman. Behind the plate, Tom Cololillo. And on the mound, Blake Clancy, a junior left-hander. Clancy with a 4-1 record, 2.48 earned run average, has pitched in 40 innings and has yielded 41 hits. He has struck out 51 while walking 13. Clancy's got 3 pitches, the standard fastball, curveball, and change. Paul, let's take a look at the inning-ending steal attempt. Italiano trying to move on the plate. A good job by Cousin.
Cousin blocks it, keeps the ball in front of him, and then has very little trouble with the short throw to third. And there's a look at it, and the hand really never even reached the bag. George Dillon was blocking it, not only with the glove, but with his foot. So very little doubt that the runner was thrown out on the play, and 2 nice plays by Cousin at the catcher spot and Dillon down at third.
That's the first time this year that Italiano, by the way, has been caught stealing. He was 11 for 11 in stolen bases. Paul, some interesting ground rules here at Verducci Field as a result of the short left field.
You see that yellow pipe in the middle of the screen. Anything to the left of that is a double. Doesn't matter how far it goes. You can hit it 500 feet, it's a double. Anything to the right is a home run, of course, over the wall. Now, the wall at its highest part is about 13 feet high, so it does force the outfielders to be alive, and even the infielders. A hard hit ball off that wall, that shortstop better get out there quickly.
George Dillon steps in to lead things off against Blake Clancy. Dillon batting .329 with 8 runs batted in. Of course, as a leadoff hitter, you wouldn't expect all that much in the RBI department. You wouldn't expect that much in power either, but he's got 2 home runs, and that ties him for team high with Mike Stevens in that category. But the important numbers for a leadoff man, Paul, 17 for 21 in stolen bases, hit by a pitch 8 times, and he scored 34 runs, and that leads the club.
And that is a pretty wild number, 8 hit by pitches.
Good breaking ball here by Clancy. Schwarzbeck on deck. Another breaking pitch off the screen.
Interesting about these teams playing again on Saturday and what they will see and what they won't see from their opponents. And I think one of the things that the coaches want to find out is what pitchers are effective beyond the number ones. We know that Binder will pitch for Caldwell, Stevens will pitch for Seton Hall on Saturday. But hey, if Clancy does a great job today, then maybe Jeff Edwards knows, hey, I can bring him back on Saturday. Should Binder tire? Should I need relief? Whatever the reason, and vice versa. If a pitcher doesn't do well, you might say, hey, he's not in my plans, even though technically he's maybe the number 2 guy.
Breaking pitch hits him.
Number 9.
Ninth time that Dillon has been hit by a pitch.
Got him either on the left foot or lower left leg. Here's a look at it on the replay. That left-handed curveball just kept coming in, got him right on the, right near the left ankle.
Boy, and if you're Clancy, you hate to see that happen. You were ahead in the count at one point, and now you wind up putting a guy on who was 17 for 21 in stolen bases. So a leadoff runner on for the Pirates, and Chris Schwarzbeck steps to the plate.
That 17 for 21 is both a team high in attempts and successful steals. Actually, by quite a wide margin. Next closest is Carini with 11 for 12.
Schwarzbeck, a .339 hitter. And the pitch down low for a ball. On deck, Mike Stevens. We're just underway, bottom half of the first inning. Matt Laughlin along with Paul Spahala. We are at Verducci Field in West Orange, the home of the Seton Hall Prep Pirates. We are in a scoreless game.
Schwarzbeck, a good bunter. And Mike Shepard Jr. says he can go deep in the count to allow Dillon as many pitches as he needs to steal.
He has 30 walks, so you know he's got a good eye at the plate. 10 runs batted in for Schwarzbeck, and as you mentioned, Paul, made that game-saving or game-ending, at any rate, catch in the quarterfinal round of the GNT against West Essex. Stevens had a no-hitter, an 8-inning no-hitter in a 3-1 Pirate victory.
The West Essex run had scored as a result of an outfield error in the 6th inning. And then in the 8th inning, the outfield saved Stevens. Again, with a great play by Schwarzbeck. You know, if that one gets in, of course, tying run is up at the plate. 3-1, again, the final.
Runner goes. Breaking pitch is a call strike, and in easily is Dillon with the stolen bases, 18th of the year.
Yeah, no doubt he got a big jump. We have a good view from our third base angle. Here's a look at it on the replay, and you'll see for yourself. There he goes, and finally the pitch is delivered to the plate. Dillon takes the look and knows he has to go in sliding, but as you can see, plenty of time for Dillon as he gets steal number 18.
So Dillon in scoring position. The count 2-2 to Chris Schwarzbeck. Tom Cololillo comes back behind the plate after a brief conversation with Clancy on the mound. Clancy, the number 2 pitcher on this staff, behind Binder. Nice play made by Cololillo, keeping the ball in front of him.
Very close backstop here at Seton Hall Prep, and of course the catchers, Cololillo for Caldwell and Kuzin for Seton Hall, will not get that at Doc Eltz Field.
Breaking pitch and a call, strike 3. Schwarzbeck wanted to offer Paul, laid off at the last minute, but it caught the corner for a strikeout.
Here's a look at it on the replay on the curveball, and that curve has been working for Clancy, and it started bending but caught the corner of the plate, and Schwarzbeck is down 1 away.
And with 1 down, Mike Stevens comes to the plate. Takes the fastball high for a ball. Stevens, the shortstop this afternoon, batting .395 with 28 runs batted in. That's 1 behind Chris Cavallo for team honors. Stevens only recently returning to the field for Seton Hall. Had battled some arm problems. Of course, he's a quarterback here at the Prep and perhaps a carryover. Had DH for a large part of the season. Fly ball to center field. Coming in is Decker Prendergast, and he puts it away.
2 down, 2 out.
So Stevens is retired for the 2nd out of the inning. At any rate, to continue the story, with him now back on the mound, the pitching core becomes deeper, a little more confidence now in that pitching staff, and Seton Hall could be tough from here on out.
And he is the guaranteed GNT pitcher for Seton Hall.
Here's Chris Cavallo, the senior first baseman. Pitch inside for a ball. Cavallo with the team-high 29 runs batted in, batting .342.
Also has 13 doubles. Don't have it broken down as to how many are over-the-wall doubles and how many are legged-out doubles.
Was going after a deep pitch, but out in front, and it's 1-1. Chris Kuzin on deck. Mike Shepard in the third base coaching box for Seton Hall. Down the first base side, Frank O'Grady. Frank, a senior outfielder and catcher for the Pirates. Here's the 1-1, a breaking pitch, and it's 1-2. So the breaking pitches have kept, so far, Seton Hall off stride.
Yeah, Clancy has thrown that curveball quite a bit today, and here's another look at it. This one will bite down inside and low.
And a call, strike 3 on the inside pitch. Second strikeout in the inning for Clancy. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left. After 1, we are scoreless.
Suburban Cablevision TV3. For over 15 years, TV3 has been bringing you the very best in local programming in a way no one else can. If it's happening in your town, chances are you'll see it on Suburban Cablevision TV3.
Gorgeous afternoon for baseball, and a nice crowd on hand here this afternoon to see these two Essex County Powers battle it out in a regular season game. Nothing but neighborhood bragging rights on the line, Paul. It's not a conference game, not a county game, not a state game, but it is an important matchup as the 18-6 Caldwell Chiefs square off against the 17-6 Seton Hall Prep Pirates. Mark Happer, Gerald Cece, and Todd Decker Prendergast to face Zidzunas here in the top half of the second inning, and Zidzunas falls behind 2-0. Happard was the batter at the plate when Metaliano was thrown out to end the first inning, and Happard benefiting from that, and that he was down 0-2, actually the pitch on which he Metaliano was thrown out was a ball, so I guess in effect 1-2. But he starts anew, and it's now 2-0. And he goes hard in the gap in right center field. Happard with good speed will be heading for a triple at least. Played out there by Volker, and on with a triple is Mark Happard.
Probably one of the deepest parts of this park that you can hit to is in right center field, and Happard just tagged that one towards that area between Schwarzbeck in center and Volker in right. Took the outside pitch and just laid into it. And you can see from our camera view, it is deep down there. The wall that is actually the background for the football stands during the fall just extends all the way out into deep right center field. And Happard is going to come around with a triple.
His third of the year. And Caldwell with the threat here as they get the leadoff batter on. And here's Gerald Cece. Breaking pitch, foul tipped, held on by Kuzin. Cece batting .362, 14 runs batted in. Has been coming on with the bat as of late and had a big game against Columbia in the opening round of the Greater Newark Tournament, a 4-1 victory for Caldwell. 0-2 the count. Todd Decker Prendergast on deck. Top half of the second inning, scoreless, and Seton Hall will concede the run if it's hit to second or short. Playing even with the bag at first and third. Goes after the high pitch, and Cece strikes out.
Here's a look at a high pitch that Cece is going to go after. Way up in the eyes, but those look good when they come in. They don't look all that good when they hit the catcher's mitt.
So one down, but the pressure's still on Rhett Zydzunas. And here's Todd Decker Prendergast, and he's got an awful lot of power. And hits a one-hopper up the middle for a base hit. Happard scores, and the 20th run batted in for Todd Decker Prendergast.
Didn't waste any time, went with the first pitch, drilled it up the middle, and the Chiefs have the 1-0 lead. Here's a look at it on replay. Tough pitch to hit. That one was tailing inside and up. But Decker Prendergast just stayed with it and drilled it to center field, and it's a 1-0 Caldwell lead.
A rare single for the junior. He had 17 hits coming into the game. 11 of them were extra base hits. 6 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs. Here's lefty hitting Jeff Bowman. And the ball up high for a ball. Bowman, a senior right fielder. Batting .172 on the season, 4 runs batted in. Has struggled recently at the plate, but has been robbed by good fielding. And that's tough. Everybody's going to have a slump. It's a matter of when it's going to come. Nearly a wild throw to first. Cavallo stretching toward the home plate side to prevent Decker Prendergast from moving up. Decker Prendergast 4 for 6 in stolen bases.
There is a fence behind first base, so it's not a guarantee that any wild throw will result in an extra base. Now, there is an opening between the fences. That is dead ball territory.
1-1 the count to Bowman. Bowman plays basketball, as does Mike Masella, Blake Clancy, and Chris Binder, and Rob Masella. And, of course, Jeff Edwards, the basketball coach at Caldwell. These guys might get sick of each other after a while.
A lot of 3-sport athletes up at Caldwell.
Mm-hmm. Edwards in his 4th year as the head coach of the Caldwell Chiefs, replacing Charlie Honegger, who moved over to Montclair State College as an assistant. Breaking pitch, and he gets a piece of it and a piece of his foot.
Yeah, right off the ankle. That'll sting for a while. So Bowman will have to reset himself.
Tom Cololillo on deck. Caldwell has pushed across a run. Leadoff triple by Mark Happard here in the second inning. And then a 1-out single up the middle by Decker Prendergast.
This is the textbook hitter's park. Very little foul territory.
Breaking pitch, chopped foul. Seton Hall looking for 2 as Carini and Stevens at double play depth at second and short. Dan Romano down the third base coaching box for the Caldwell Chiefs. On the first base side, Brian Shave. There's Dan. Shave, a senior second baseman and pitcher for this club. Decker Prendergast on at first base, and he, as I mentioned earlier, a football player, but also a tremendous wrestler. Does not go. The fastball high, and it's 2-2.
Although he played several positions on the football team, the one that jumps in my mind, of course, is his duty as a place kicker. Very accurate place kicker.
Both of these teams alive in state playoff action. Caldwell will play Madison on Thursday.
Seton Hall will open up state play on the 26th, which will be next Tuesday. They are at Immaculata. Seton Hall, the number 5 seed in North Jersey Parochial A.
Immaculata eliminated yesterday in the semifinal round of the Somerset County Tournament. And there's a seeing eye base hit to left field.
Perfect placement for Bowman.
Well, you hit into bad luck and your average goes down, and then you place them where they ain't. And maybe that's the start of a breakout of the slump for Jeff Bowman.
So he went opposite field to stroke that single.
And so Caldwell continues to hit Zidzunas here in the second inning, and here's Tom Colalillo. Colalillo batting .284 with 12 runs batted in. Chance to pick up an RBI here as the breaking pitch drops in for a called strike. Colalillo has had timely hitting, according to Jeff Edwards, and has made great strides in his all-around game, at the plate and calling a game. He is the junior catcher. Who's out ahead of that one. It's 0-2. Mike Masella, the DH, on deck. Getting back to the state playoffs.